Today, EA throws a Hail Mary to the Supreme Court, but it's intercepted by them not caring. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint, broadcasting as always at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. However, due to fluctuations in regional adherence to daylight savings time, you could be seeing this up to 2 hours earlier or later than you expect. If you are confused because you didn't expect to see CheckPoint on Sunday, I'm afraid it's actually Monday and you're probably late for work. A recent Xbox survey posed an interesting question. Would you be interested in selling back your digital games for 10% of the purchase price in store credit? That's it. That's all that's been said. Nothing's been confirmed, but it sounds pretty clearly like Xbox is considering a sort of digital trade-in for digital games. And sure, 10% isn't very much. Getting $6 back on $60 is downright GameStop-esque. But if the alternative is $6 in store credit or a license somewhere that says you technically own a game you'll never play again, it seems like a reasonable option. Were you just looking back and forth between your PS4 and your phone thinking, "Oh, console friend, I'm so glad I don't have to update you every 2 years like my stupid smartphone"? First, why are you talking to your PS4? That's really weird. And second, the joke's on you because apparently both Sony and Microsoft are working on upgraded versions of their current gen consoles. Supposedly 4K game resolutions and VR capabilities are to blame for this miserable idea. The current PS4 and Xbox One just don't have the guts to support either of these technologies. But rather than working on wholly new units, both companies are looking to prolong this console generation by releasing more powerful, upgraded versions that consumers will need to purchase all over again. Tell me again how VR is going to take off when I not only need to buy a $400 headset, but another $400 console to replace my existing, still perfectly functional $400 console? This news is the real-life equivalent of the eye roll emoji. Among the latest fighters added to the extensive roster of UFC 2 in its latest free update is none other than UFC announcer Joe Rogan. Comedian, podcaster, marijuana advocate, and Carlos Mencia harasser, Joe Rogan is accessible by downloading the new UFC 2 update and entering the Konami code on the main menu. Then you get to pretend that Joe would have a shot in a match against Conor McGregor. Look, absolutely Joe Rogan could kick my ass, but I feel like the qualifications to be in UFC should be more strict than that. At a South by Southwest gaming panel, Telltale Games discussed writing the forthcoming Batman series they are working on, revealing a photo of the game's script before clarifying that it was only the script for Episode 1 because the branching nature of Telltale's game requires a lot of writing. That same branching nature means the Telltale team also confirmed that players can choose to play most of the game as Bruce Wayne. And we assume the Bruce Wayne solution to conflicts is, I'm a billionaire, here's a bunch of money. Like playing Desmond in Assassin's Creed, if Desmond was in any way capable or likable. Despite the best efforts of Electronic Arts, the U.S. Supreme Court has decided it will not hear a ruling on Electronic Arts versus Davis, the case against EA for using likenesses of retired NFL players in Madden games without compensation. A Ninth Circuit court rejected EA's request to dismiss the case, and since the ultimate court has decided not to rule, that rejection stands. The case against EA alleges that they used retired players' appearances, stats, and performance records, but changed their names to fictional ones, so they didn't have to pay them. Many retired players do appear in Madden's Ultimate Team mode and are paid for their likenesses, but of course those are the players people care about, whereas the rest of them are having to sue EA. For their part, EA says that use of the players' likenesses is covered under the First Amendment as incidental to the creation of the game, which the plaintiffs rebuff by saying that it can't be incidental because the main commercial purpose of the franchise is to create the most realistic virtual football simulation possible. By not ruling on this, the final court is leaving lower courts to figure out how the First Amendment measures against trademark infringement and/or the right to publicity, and I'm sure it won't be complex or time-consuming at all. This is Madden we're talking about, right? Yo, EA, just give each of these guys $1 million. It'll probably be cheaper for you. This never would have happened if Scalia was still alive, because you see, I'm told he cared deeply about video games, and not that he just made a ruling on the First Amendment that one time. Coming up, apparently it takes 130 hours to reach max level in the division, because someone has already done that. Now the Division can truly become the new Destiny, i.e. a subreddit filled with people complaining that there's nothing to do.